Levi is a figure who holds a significant role in the early history of God's chosen people, the Israelites. He is not only an individual in the Hebrew Scriptures, but also the progenitor of an entire tribe that would later be distinguished for its sacred responsibilities and unique standing among the 12 tribes of Israel. Levi as a person. Levi was the third son born to the patriarch Jacob, also called Israel, and his first wife, Leah. He was a brother to Reuben, Simeon, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and also had half-brothers by Jacob's other wives. According to scriptural accounts, Genesis chapter 29 verse 34, Leah named him Levi, a name believed to mean attached, or joined, because she hoped that by bearing Jacob yet another son, her husband would become more closely attached to her. This familial context is something Jehovah's Witnesses often highlight. Names in the Hebrew Scriptures commonly carry deep meanings, reflecting parental hopes, circumstances of birth, or even prophecies about the child's future role in God's arrangement. Incidents involving Levi. Levi's personal character is revealed most notably in the account of Genesis chapter 34. He, together with his full brother Simeon, responded to the defilement of their sister Dinah by orchestrating a violent act of retribution against the men of Shechem. While they justified their actions by the mistreatment of their sister, their father Jacob censured them for their cruelty and deceitfulness. Jehovah's Witnesses, in discussing this event, often emphasize the lessons about anger, violence, and the importance of waiting on God to rectify matters. The incident highlights Levi's capacity for strong emotion, loyalty to family, but also a disturbing inclination toward excessive force. Levi's role as ancestor of the Levites. Despite the violent episode in Shechem, the tribe descending from Levi, the Levites, would later play a vastly different and elevated role in Israel's worship. Centuries after Levi's death, when the nation of Israel was organized following the exodus from Egypt, Jehovah assigned the Levites a special function. They did not receive a designated territory as did other tribes. Instead, Jehovah set them apart for religious service. This distinction, as found in the books of Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, is of great importance to witnesses. They point out that while Levi himself had a somewhat troubled youth, his descendants were entrusted with the spiritual care of Israel, underscoring how Jehovah can use imperfect humans and their lineage to accomplish his purpose. The Levites and true worship. After the Israelites' deliverance from Egypt, during the wandering in the wilderness, the Levites were chosen to care for the tabernacle and its sacred utensils. From among the Levites came the priestly line, specifically from Aaron, a descendant of Levi. Aaron's sons served as priests, and the rest of the Levites assisted them. The tabernacle duties included transporting the Ark of the Covenant, setting up the tabernacle at each encampment, preparing sacrifices, teaching the law, and serving as a spiritual guide within the nation. Later on, when the temple replaced the tabernacle during the period of the kings, the Levites similarly played a crucial role in maintaining the temple and preserving the purity of worship. Jehovah's Witnesses often reference the Levites to illustrate obedience, faithfulness, and respect for Jehovah's arrangement. For example, during the incident with the golden calf at Mount Sinai, Exodus chapter 32, it was the sons of Levi who stood firmly on the side of pure worship when many Israelites fell into idolatry. For this show of loyalty, they were further confirmed in their sacred duties. Witnesses highlight this to show that even though Levi the man had once been involved in violence for personal vengeance, his descendants would distinguish themselves by zealously upholding Jehovah's standards. Thus, the tribe's special inheritance was not land, but the privilege of direct service to God. This particular lesson is often cited. Spiritual responsibilities and faithfulness in worship are ultimately more valuable and enduring than material possessions. No inheritance of land, but a unique legacy. In line with scriptural descriptions, Numbers chapter 18 verse 20, Jehovah informed Aaron, representing the priestly tribe of Levi, that they would not receive a portion of agricultural territory like the other tribes. Instead, Jehovah himself would be their inheritance. To ensure they could live without a standard allotment of farmland, the Levites were given designated cities scattered throughout the territories of the other tribes. This arrangement ensured that spiritual instruction and a priestly presence could be found throughout the entire nation of Israel, further illustrating their integral role in maintaining a unified worship. Jehovah's Witnesses underscored that this scattering was a blessing rather than a disadvantage. It kept them close to the people they served and ensured the ongoing spiritual education of God's nation. Levi in the broader scriptural context. Jehovah's Witnesses also sometimes discuss Levi's place in the messianic genealogies and patterns of pre-Christian worship leading to Christ. While Jesus himself was of the tribe of Judah, the Levitical priesthood and their centuries-long service prefigured the greater priestly role Jesus now occupies in the Christian arrangement. By understanding Levi's position and that of his descendants, witnesses gain a deeper appreciation for how God progressively revealed aspects of his purpose. The faithful Levites helped keep the worship of Jehovah pure, prepared the way for the coming of the Messiah, and taught spiritual principles that remain valuable to God's people today. Please share and like and please subscribe.